Welcome everyone back to Ruslan Bortnik YouTube channel in English. My name is James, and as always, I'm here with Ruslan Bortnik, political scientist, political expert, and the director of the Ukrainian Institute of Politics. Ruslan, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for your help, James, and thank you for such a great discussions which you propose in me every day.
Absolutely. Guys, we're sorry we had a week of a gap that we were not able to provide the latest about the Ukraine. So we're going to catch up right now and try to bring news from 2 weeks ago and something that is recent to today's. I want to start by asking you to summarize Zelensky's visit to the United States of America. How productive do you think that visit was? If Ukraine have achieved everything that it has planned for that visit, and what do you think could have done better?
I think it was an important visit, of course, but it was at the same time one of the most unsuccessful visits of Ukrainian president to United States. Because Ukrainian president brought to United States our victory plan, but no of the points of that victory plan was supported by United States, by the Joe Biden, by the White House administration. It looks like Ukrainian victory plan even was not even interesting for United States, for White House administration. So I can say that this visit was successful. Of course, it was bright, it was very important, but it was almost empty of the new decisions, or the new supports for Ukraine, or even of the new ideas. And it is very strange for me, because I'm sure that the White House administration knew about this plan before this visit. Why there was no any prepared document, any prepared decision, conclusions from it, which could paint in more beautiful colors this visit? I don't know.
Specifically, the situation that happened between Zelensky and Trump. At first, we witnessed that there was a rise of a conflict between them, and at the end, they have met and discussed something. Do you think they have resolved the conflict between themselves, and will Ukraine still continue to receive a bipartisan support from the United States of America?
I think there were two problems for Zelensky in this visit. The first problem was during his United Nations speech and his tensions with China and Brazil about their peaceful plan, peaceful approach, and Zelensky called their peaceful approach like a colonial approach, and it provoked both countries, China and Brazil, to make so-called informal club of friends of peace. Peaceful friends club. I don't know how to translate it, even it. And second problem, which you emphasized, now it's a problem with the Republicans. And it started not from the Trump, it started from the Johnson, and from very brutal letter of Johnson to the Ukrainian president with demands to dismiss the ambassador of Ukraine in the United States, Mrs. Makarova. And it was very brutal tone of that letter. It happened because the Johnson and the Republicans in Congress in the United States claimed Zelensky in partisan participating, like they wrote in the letter, in the United States election. Because of that visit to the Scranton, to the Pennsylvania, to the native town of Joe Biden, together with representatives of Democratic Party, and the second step was the discussion with Trump, because Zelensky claimed that Trump doesn't know what is going on in Ukraine generally. But it happens in the time when Trump is saying that he is ready to resolve this conflict during 24 hours. And of course, it made a bad influence. It was a bad signal for Trump, and Trump looked very disappointed and angry in this situation. So in the end, Zelensky, it looks like Zelensky.
Well, Trump gets angry very often. Trump gets very, yeah.
And it's very easy to make Trump angry in any situation.
Yeah.
But in the end, Zelensky was humiliated by the Trump because he had to make an apologizes at the beginning to the letter to the Trump with the vice head from the vice head of the Ukrainian embassy, not from the Markarova, and then personally come to Trump, to the Trump's tower, and to
Trump's
say
tower,
that
yeah.
he is very respectful to the position to the Trump, and to listen all this very tough and very hard for Zelensky words about the necessity of peaceful negotiation with Russia, about the necessity to take into account interest of the sides, and Zelensky looked very humiliated in that situation. So he paid a high price for this Scranton visit, and this visit to United States was not so successful for Zelensky like previous visits.
But where do you think the relationship between Trump and Zelensky is at the moment? Do you think they have resolved their conflict and Zelensky will continue to have communication with Trump in case Trump is winning the election?
I don't think.
Do you think it's irreversible trend that?
I don't know, and it looks like no one called back the Johnson letter. No one, and it looks like Ukraine.
There was no response.
Yeah, Ukraine is not going to save support from bipartisan support in United States, and maybe bipartisan support for United States Ukraine lost during this visit, because I can't imagine that Republicans in different in Congress will vote for any additional support for Ukraine in the next months, not even because of elections, but also because of this conflict.
I just want to mention that despite anger, reasonable or unreasonable, and potential negative impact on Zelensky's behavior during that visit, I don't think that a conservative party, the Republican Party in the United States, can go rogue now and just block all the potential financial aid to the Ukraine or any other military aid to Ukraine, because there's still a lot of Republicans, not in the parliament, but just population in the United States that consider themselves to have conservative views and vote for Republicans. They're still supporting Ukraine, right? So it will be hard for them to do something dramatically, go just black and white, oh, we're just going to block everything now. They can definitely delay as they did before, but it wouldn't be as simple to just like, no, we're like 100% not helping Ukraine anymore because Zelensky made a mistake when he was visiting us. What do you think about that?
Of course, you're right, but I'm not talking about the stopping of support for Ukraine for now. I'm talking about the additional support, because Ukrainian victory plan was consisted of additional packages of support, military, financial support.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Moreover, I was talking with few Republicans in the United States, and they said that they are feeling betrayed in this situation, because they supported Ukraine a lot, and then Zelensky is coming to United States and going with Democrats to the military factory, and it looks like it. And they trapped in very bad situation inside of their party, because non-so supported Ukrainian part of their party said them, "What have you done? You supported Zelensky in Ukraine so much time. Why he is playing such a role? Why he is supporting Democrats?" And
especially the time before election.
Yeah, in the time of election. So I don't think that it was a fatal or absolutely broken visit. There was also a lot of positive signs. But in generally, all main goals which Zelensky stated before the visit, they were not achieved in this situation.
Yeah, long-range weapons, bipartisan support, getting more financial and military packages. None of that happened. So it's basically just that the outcome was not what the Ukrainian side expected. I want to shift from the United States to Europe. One of the biggest supporter and ally that Ukraine has in Europe is Germany. Germany is currently, in my opinion, going through financial stress or financial crisis, if we can call it that way. And it looks like Scholz is changing his perspective towards the war from a purely support to Ukraine and taking a one-side approach. He decided to shift his tone and he's planning to communicate and talk to Putin. I don't know if that phone call have happened at the end or not, but he clearly in the media have shifted his perspective. What do you think about the situation and what do you think about Germany in general? Will it continue to support Ukraine or Germany is trying to find a more neutral state in its politics?
Scholz is sending signals that he is ready to talk with Putin. And he needs this talk with Putin because of internal situation in Germany. There are public opinion researches in Germany shows us that bigger part of German society is not supporting continuation of the war, is not supporting the rising up the level of support for Ukraine. And I think you saw that last local elections in Germany. This is federation also country showed that Scholz and his color coalition is losing that election, is losing public support. They lost two of three elections, local elections in Germany during the last 3 months. So I think Scholz is trying to be back to the peaceful stage, to the peaceful path of negotiation, because it's very useful, beneficial for him. But Moscow also understands it very clear. And
now the question is, will Russia that or they wouldn't?
I don't think so. I think Moscow will not give this present for Scholz. Especially
they wouldn't fight on it.
Yeah, especially after the words of Angela Merkel, which said a few years ago that all Minsk negotiation process only was for winning the time, for preparation for Ukraine for the fight. So there is a
to delay time for you. Yeah.
So there is extremely deep distrust between Germany leads and Russian leads. Also, Nord Stream 2 case made a big influence of it. There are a lot of problems between them. So I don't think that Putin will be ready to this dialogue. It could be a very big present for Scholz, but not for Putin in this situation. Even today, Bild, it's one of the main German mass media, wrote an article and with the main message that Zelensky is ready to ceasefire. I think it's also a signal from Scholz, from Germany, that Germany is able to be a negotiator, to provide such type of peace agreement. But I don't think so that Moscow will catch it.
Absolutely. Before we get into the internal situation in Ukraine, I want to touch another part of the world, which is the Middle East region. The conflict in the Middle East looks to be intensifying, drawing more attention from the world, drawing more attention from Ukrainian allies in the West. How do you think that conflict will change the approach towards Ukraine from Western allies in terms of how much money, how much time, how much attention they can give them? And what do you think in general will happen in the Middle East if that conflict will continue to intensify?
I think at the first stage, of course, it's changing the global focus of the United States. And not only the United States, but also some countries in Western Europe. because for them, Israel is the main partner in the East,
in the region,
in the Middle East, and this situation is very influenceable on the world energy prices.
on oil prices. Right.
Yeah, of course. If there will be a big war, it means that Europe and United States will achieve a more expensive oil, gas, and so on. So the
Prices are spiked in the market.
yes, the focus is changing to that region, but it's a one consequence of this situation. But another consequence is that this conflict also is considering like a continuation of this necklace of geopolitical conflicts. And this conflict also have many same roots like Ukrainian-Russian war. Because behind the Hamas, behind the Lebanon, there is Iran, there is China, there is Russia also. And behind the Israel, there is the United States and Western Europe also. So the players are the same or almost the same. And this is one more sign for Western elites, for example, for Britain elites, that we now are in the situation of hybrid World War III. And this hybrid war, hybrid global war, needs to very brave resolution and very brave steps. So in the beginning, in the first stage, of course, it's very bad situation for Ukraine because we will take less resources, we will take less attentions in this situation, we will take less. But in generally, maybe the situation will involve the global West more in this geopolitical war, and I can't even predict possible consequences of it in the future.
Right. Now I want to shift into the internal part in Ukraine. Russian forces are, how should I say it? They're steadily progressing on the front line. They're occupying more cities on the eastern part. It seems like they're squeezing out slowly Ukrainian forces out of the Kursk region inside of Russia. What is happening on the front line? What do you think are the trends now, and how Ukraine is trying to counter-offense those trends?
I will show you a short map as usual, because it's very useful and it's very clear to understand what is going on. In this situation, this is general map of Ukraine, like a star on the map. Oh, sorry. And the red painted part, it's a part of occupied by Russia, of Ukrainian lands. And nowadays it's Russia occupied more than 110 square kilometers of Ukrainian lands. This is red part. And in generally, sorry, I have a call. In generally, the main trends of the last few weeks, it's a climbing Russian offensive operation. It is going on. And Russia captured more than 100 square kilometers for the last 2 weeks of Ukrainian lands again. The most dangerous situation, of course, it's near Pokrovsk region. It's Pokrovsk region on the way. Sorry, because we started our video on the outside, and then rain was started, and my notebook is wet, and it's not working very well. But we have very live issue, and this is Pokrovsk region, and Russian offensive operation in this Pokrovsk region is going on, and now they're trying to capture two main cities of this region, Pokrovsk and Kurakhove region. And after behind these cities, there is empty place with only small villages till the Dnipropetrovsk region. Till the one main industrial center of Ukraine, and so it's very important fight. Also, Russia captured the city of Ugledar. Here is during these 2 weeks, and this city is very important because this city was very close to the railway, You can see these lines, gray lines of railway, which, oh, sorry, it doesn't work well, which are tightening the Russian lands with the Crimea, which are tightening the Russian lands with all occupied lands in territory of Ukraine.
We have a good transport logistic path from Russia to the occupied territory, which will intensify the occupation because they will be able to deliver more products, they will be able to deliver more military aid, and just in general build their defense system against a potential Ukrainian counteroffensive better. And I'm assuming that this from Ugledar to the railway road was the distance that the Ukrainian weapons could reach and target potential trains, and now they could not anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, you're right. And we are waiting for that Russia will use these railway roads to fulfill and to fill all her troops on this south region and to intensify her offensive operation in general in the Zaporizhia direction. Last few days, Russian troops are trying to find the weak places in this south front to move to Zaporizhia direction also. And also is not very good situation in Donbas front because Russian troops are trying to capture the very important city of Toretsk here is, and Russian troops are already in city center of this city. And also we have a very bad situation in Kupiansk direction. It's a border of Lugansk and Kharkivska Oblast, because Russian troops were able to cut Ukrainian Platsdarm on the left bank of the river Oskol in two parts, in Kupiansk parts and Borova parts. And Russian forces cut this Platsdarm because they almost reached the bank of the river, and they continue their offensive operation. Maybe they will try to obtain the Kupiansk city, which I want to remind you, which was the capital city of occupied Russian lands in Kharkivsk Oblast in 2022, before liberation. Also, Ukrainian troops are keeping the partly territories of Kursk region. It's blue painted part. But Russia started a new wave of counteroffensive operation just today in this direction, and they are trying to kick off Ukrainian forces from their territory till the presidential elections in the United States. They are trying to eliminate this factor of possible negotiation between Ukraine and Russia in possible future peaceful communication. So this is general situation. More than 18% of Ukrainian territories now are occupied, but at the same time, there is no significant risk for Ukrainian state if we are talking about the military terms. Even this Russian offensive operation, they are very local, and it doesn't look like that Russia will be able in the nearest future, nearest months, to capture any big cities of Ukraine and make any fatal damage for Ukrainian state.
Right, Ruslan, thank you so much for your comments today. And guys, if you have anything specific that you want Ruslan to review or give his comments on, just let us know in the comments and we will consider that for our next podcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. And friends, don't forget to subscribe for this channel. Please write down your questions, and don't forget about our analytical reports on the website of Ukrainian Institute of Politics, which are also in English and which are much more wider and deeper with analyzing the situation. Thank you, friends. Bye-bye.